when you look at a global pandemic or any kind of crisis, necessity oftentimes drives and invites innovation. And I think the cell and gene therapy space has really proven to be quite nimble in many ways during the pandemic. One, if you look at just the number of clinical trials that received accelerated designations globally in order to bring technologies forward for the pandemic, I think that was pretty remarkable. And then, of course, the accelerated development of the vaccines in general have been a good lesson to all of us. As you look at some of the challenges that many manufacturers and developers had during the pandemic, a lot of it was that they were working to continue moving forward for clinical trials, for example. The challenge with there was a challenge with patient enrollment for clinical trials, mostly because the hospitals that were really busy managing COVID, right? So being able to manage collection or to bring in a patient for these therapies may not have been a priority given the pandemic. What are some of the lessons that we've really learned? If you look at the cell and gene therapy market and the companies that are bringing these products to market, there are really some very key areas that they're focused in order to deliver a high quality product. And those became even more apparent during the pandemic. So first is supply continuity. The second is having a rapid response service. And the third is setting a very high bar for quality of product. And if you consider the high cost of failure, it's a very different situation in a biologic or small molecule, where if you have a failure, yes, it's an expensive lesson. You throw away a very expensive lot of product. In the case of cell and gene therapy, failure means that a patient doesn't get a life-saving therapy and could actually die. So the cost of failure is extremely high. And the manufacturers really cannot afford downtime when the patient's on the other end waiting. And so, right, making sure that there's rapid service and that continuity of supply is really important. Also, in considering clean room requirements and for GMP manufacturing, right? So the kind of packaging, there's no tolerance for debris, anything that could impact that final product. And so during the pandemic, given some of the supply challenges, the back orders, the lack of availability of supply, some of these key things, even for PPE, to be able to work in these environments, what many have done and will probably continue to do as a lesson from the pandemic is to stockpile materials. And they're also looking very carefully at supplier selection, making sure that you have a reliable supplier that has the right measures in place and redundancies in their manufacturing to keep their products, as well as that very high quality. Inventory management is also being looked at very differently across the industry. And of course, ensuring that the high quality products are there to avoid some of these challenges as well. So I would say that the lessons the pandemic has taught is the areas that were critical, there's a spotlight on them, and to really make sure that not only recognizing that they're critical, but putting in the right measures to ensure that that criticality is met. For Terumo, the way we support our customers is a key differentiator. It's how we work through customer service and support of our customers. So, for example, throughout the global pandemic, our field service and support teams were active in the field, repairing devices and helping make sure that patients that were in critical need of these equipment were not waiting. This was something that many of our customers were appreciative of, as many were not engaging in person. We also found many ways to engage our customers virtually to support them, to be very flexible and nimble during these times. Another key element of our support is that we have associates globally where our customers are. And this is important both in the field application scientists that we have in supporting a customer's process, our regional quality, sales, and support teams that can be there if there's any challenge or issue. They're also willing to work with our customers to ensure that they have what they need in their process. And last but not least is our manufacturing operations. Throughout the pandemic, we were able to keep our products flowing to our customers with minimal disruption. Our manufacturing associates worked throughout the entire pandemic. And when we looked at how we were able to perform against many of the others in the industry, we were very fortunate to be able to keep that supply flowing. And that was really very much valued by our customers as it allowed them to bring these life-changing products to their patients.